I got. If anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me at any time. Thank you.
Yeah, high level for kind of adding to Ed's report out. Most of you guys know this, some of you might not. Most of our expenses go to umpire fees and they go to uniforms, right? And then we have some general operational needs like baseballs and equipment and some other items that we buy over time. That's majority of our expenses. And then of course we have whatever food we buy for the concessions. That's the majority of what's in there. You'll see some kind of one-off things that we have to buy over time, like especially this time of year we do our chartering and our insurance. So generally spring's a little more expensive for us as an expense category because we pay about an extra $10,000 worth of chartering and expenses. And then we have level 2 background checks that we paid for this year too, which was a pretty hefty expense.
And insurance.
Correct, yeah. All right, we'll shift over to, we'll stay on this side. We'll go to our softball commissioner.
The only thing new was the districts were held, the 14U won the districts, and the 10U won the districts. If you could post that on the page, I'd appreciate it. Yes, they won the districts by default. Everybody was afraid to play them this year, so I don't understand why, but.
What was it, 18U and?
14U and 10U won the districts, and the 8 won by default. So if you can put that on our website, it'd be appreciated. What's that? 14.
We'll get you some pictures.
Can you send me pictures, Mike?
If I get them.
Can you get ask coaches? All right.
I'm going for surgery, so I'm going to be laid up for a while, but I'll try. All right. Beside that, we're just waiting for the fall season. That's it.
No, we do have Farron's out of commission, right, for the summer because we're redoing the parking lot? Okay. So we'll absorb softball for the time being. It'll be a little crowded for a couple of weeks as baseball finishes, but do we know when that's estimated to be done? It's supposed to be done before the school year, obviously. Okay. Are they doing it in phases, or are they doing the whole parking lot? Okay. All right. So that's out of commission as of this week, I believe. Okay. All right. All right. We'll shift over to the secretary's report. Did they take the PO stuff I sent for the license? I sent it to the mailbox.
They didn't tell me anything.
Did we have mail though?
The key still works? No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was nothing on there. The key still works, so I'm assuming it worked.
What else for your report?
No,
Nothing?
nothing.
Okay. All right, Mr. Josh, anything you want to add?
Not a whole lot right now. I am very pleased with the way we're moving and got the ball rolling. I think everything's moving in the right direction. I'm happy with how it's going. All-Star season's pretty much ending after next week for the most part, and then we'll just continue looking forward to the future.
All right, I'll pass it over to Nico. Anything to add there, sir? Nope. Mr. John? Nope. All right, just a couple things I'll add. I mean, it feels like we just had a meeting, which was only a couple weeks ago, so I guess that's why it feels that way. We did start committees, so we have 4 committees, and I'm gonna do this off the top of my head, so bear with me. We have an events committee, an operations committee, sponsorship committee, and kind of a generic softball committee.
An operations committee?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, what's that?
When were those formed?
They were formed probably a couple days after the last board meeting. Well, let me rephrase. We sent the chairs and the message to you guys on who we think would be good chairs. So we have our 4 chairs that have taken over those areas. And I know you guys already had a meeting, kind of a general meeting with parents to try to get some more parents involved, which was awesome. But we have a lot of movement there. Alicia's done an awesome job posting, so thank you for posting all of our social media, because Jessica and I, we did our best. It wasn't very good, but we did our best. So we're happy it looks a little prettier, and we're more current. And then, Right now, a lot of activity in the sponsorship committee as well. Thinking about different ways we can, either brand it by field or scoreboards or different things to do enhancements to the field. And so there's a lot of, we'll say a lot of chatter there and a lot of excitement. So I'm excited to see what's going to come of that in terms of, what money can be donated and what enhancements we can put to the field. Then last but not least, which is eating up most of my time and Josh's to some degree, is our Willows Bash. So it's our annual tournament for the end of the year. Generally, we do this thing earlier, but districts for baseball got pushed all over the place. So we ended up having to push it out to June, which is kind of a weird time for everybody because you have a lot of teams that leave to go to off-site tournaments for baseball, right? So they're not in town. You have a lot of competing softball tournaments as well. And so generally we do this in May, or I like to do it in May. I think we did it Mother's Day weekend last time. But because of the way districts fell, it didn't work out that way. But it's so far so good. I think we're at, don't hold me to this number, 36, 37 teams total. We have teams in every age group from T-ball to 13U. So we have a minimum of 4, I believe, in each age group. And some of them have up to 7. We had a lot more, of course, but when it comes time to the end and we try to solidify stuff, people bail out or don't pay, but pretty good. I mean, we'll have a game on every field pretty much every night. I owe you that grid, which I'll send it to the rest of the group as well. I was just waiting because I had a couple teams, older teams, that were going to jump in. I don't think that's going to happen, so I'll get you guys a grid so we have the fields ready. But we're going to start Sunday just to have some extra field space. And so whatever we need to do for that, I know in the past we've been able to accommodate that. So we can work on that. It's only 2 games on Sunday. But yeah, really good turnout so far. I'm very happy with the turnout. A lot of our local fellow peer leagues are hopping in, and then we have some travel teams. But overall, pretty good turnout so far. To Ed's point, I looked at this right before I walked out the door. Our enrollment for fall, that's been up and rolling for a couple weeks. Hasn't been that long.
Like maybe 2?
Maybe 2 weeks. So we're at 108 total, which is awesome. 35 softball, 73 baseball. That's assuming we registered in the right category, which, sometimes we didn't do that last year. So we'll have to move some boys and some girls around. But that's a pretty good start. Generally, we have anywhere from 350 to 400 in the fall. So that's about a third of them right out of the gate, which is pretty cool. We did set up a new link for the coaches to keep it current. We have 21 coaches that are registered. So if you're a coach and you plan to coach again, please re-register. You don't have to redo all the activities. They're good for a year, but I do need it on the new list because going through the prior list was always a pain. So we're just going to update that each time and have everybody re-register so we know who's interested. So that's up and running. We'll start probably preparing for fall here in the future. That's the one thing I need to look at is make sure we have the school calendar up to date and talk about start times and opening day and, when we want to kind of end. Generally, we end before Thanksgiving. I'm not a fan of going after Thanksgiving, although a lot of leagues do. So we generally end that week before and try not to go into that weekend because people are gone for that 10-day period. A lot of people are. So we'll generally start in mid-August and go all the way through, we'll call it mid-November, depending on when Thanksgiving hits. So more to come on that. Hopefully we'll have that finalized soon. We'll put some dates up for everybody. There's been a lot of activity. I think you've seen that. There's been a lot of activity on Messenger and Facebook and a lot of questions, so that's good. And seems like a lot of new people. It doesn't seem like a lot of reoccurring people.
A lot of emails.
A lot of emails.
New people that have never played before signing up. I think I've made about 7 or 8 this week alone.
Yeah, and really a couple of things I was going to touch on. Just lost my train of thought there, but yeah, a lot of new folks there. But I think part of our retention and All-Stars, and we touched on that a little bit. Pretty successful All-Star season. I mean, I would tell you our first tournament, I think we won more games in the first tournament across all the teams than we won all last summer. So really good start. We had a couple teams win a couple games in district. 11U finished third in district, which was awesome. They lost to Gardens by a couple runs, so they were a couple runs away from the championship. We had was it 8UA won a game recently? So we've had some success. The 9U team has won a few games here and there, so we've had some good success with All-Stars. Excited to finish it up at Willows and kind of see how we can cap that off with our teams.
We got AUB going to Wheelie for states.
Yep. Yeah, so our B team will be going to states. That's this week, right? The end of this week?
I have to leave tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
For the meeting.
So that's in Ocala, so that's pretty cool. Let's see, I think that's about it for All-Stars. We'll probably have some new commentary and new business with some new opportunity for some new teams here. I guess we'll kick it over to Ron. Anything on your end with the village? Any updates outside of Farron?
The only thing we have from the village right now is just the Willow Bass Tournament. We would like to get the schedule probably tomorrow as soon as possible so we can notify parks about the schedule. I know you texted me about Mount on field 2. Yeah, they looking to fix that as soon as possible. And also the batting cages next. They took a look at it, so they also go fix it sometime soon. They order parts for it. Yeah. So for Farron or for Willows. Farron as well. But I know they did it for Willows.
We're both. We'll take both.
Okay. Yeah. That's all I have.
All right. We don't have any old business to revisit, but we do have some new business.
Like committee's report, or,
We could, yeah. I think we could probably do that towards the end,
oh,
for sure. I know, like I said, we don't have any old business, but I know there was a couple of topics on the softball side for new business. You guys want to talk about those?
Yes, I've gotten interest for 2 different coaches, one in 14U and one in 8U, trying to start up the travel program again. Rebellion, right, actually represented tonight. One is Micah Acevedo. He currently is managed in the park for the last, 3 seasons, I believe, and has done All-Stars the last 2 years. He has no kids in the game. He just loves the coach and wants to take a lot of the All-Star girls to the next level. So, but I know that he has to get approved for it. That's the way, the way we've always done it. But basically, I want to know if he can field the team first. So we made some flyers, stuff like that, before we get final approval. We kind of want to see if we can even field the team, because you have to have pitchers and catchers in softball to compete, not just one. But I just want to make sure we're on an understanding. If he moves forward with the team, he will come here and want to get approved and all that stuff. I mean, he's a good coach in my eyes. I mean, maybe you can feed in, Mike, but
Yeah, I have no problem with him being the travel coach at all.
so I'd love for travel to come back
yeah.
to World Palm. So I know some of the other softball moms have mentioned that they like the Wildcats name, or they said they were, I don't know, something from the past. Would you guys be willing to change your name, or is that like a?
Everything's possible. Anything's possible. I mean,
Name is not really the question.
I
Whatever you
just,
wanna call
I could
them.
care less about
If
the
we can
name.
play
I just want
softball, if we can get these girls to come
committed
out and play
coaches and
softball,
committed
that's what's
parents and
important.
committed players to Royal Palm.
Which I
mean,
think softball has.
Yeah.
I think our group has that.
They don't have to, but you know, these new teams, basically, they're always told to get more reps, you know, and there's ways to do both. It's how the manager approaches it with the parents and explains it to the parents. And it's something else maybe we can talk about too. If we want to get the travel players to play both seasons, maybe we can, you know, do a discount or something, or make it more enticing or something. Yes. The only difference, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the biggest difference in softball to baseball is softball doesn't have a league like Oscars to play in. So they have to, and they have to play, and beginning teams like this, they would play USSSA, and they have Saturday and Sunday tournaments all in South Florida all throughout the year. John knows this. Good, and so does Mike. But, you know, they have to play tournament games. You know, they could do scrimmages here and there, but they have to do tournament games. I used to do round robins, too, at the park, which always was a nice little moneymaker, fundraiser type thing to do. You know, when we weren't playing USSSA on that weekend. But if we want to, you know, build this program, we got to get travel back in it. You know, it was when baseball was at its highest a few years back. I'm talking about when my son was little, and now he just graduated high school. But we had a lot of travel teams playing rec. And that's when we were most successful in All-Stars. You know. Yeah. No. I understand exactly. I know exactly where you're coming from. I've been on both sides. Now I know. I used to have the same complaints from softball when I was president, and now I know why. You know, it is what it is. You know? But I think that's possible. We got 3 accounts. We can, you know, yeah. 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 Yep. But yeah, you can take. Sure. Yeah. There's no doubt that we do have the best softball rec. Yeah, that too.
Well, while we're on that topic, the youngest softball, are we charging this season, or are they still allowed to play or sign up for free?
This year we did it one more time for free, yes.
So we're doing it again for free?
Yes.
Okay. So that's kind of tricky when it comes to
They're
funds
still
allocated
getting.
then.
They still have to get team sponsors and stuff like that.
Okay.
I would imagine those, as a treasurer, I mean, you can figure it out, right? Or do we need to find a new treasurer?
Hey, elections just happened. What happened? Why wasn't my name?
The problem is, too, the towns surrounding us were doing it for free, so to keep
Competitive?
them coming back.
Yeah.
We did it for this time. I mean, we could do maybe a minimal charge in the future.
You get to a point
just to
where it's not
cover
worth
our-
doing it for free, and everybody's gonna wanna pay to be involved in your league anyway, so they're gonna be okay with it.
Like I
think
said-
we're getting to that point. So just on this note, we played districts this weekend, we had nobody to play. I don't know if it's the league we're playing in or just the level that we're playing at, but
If you honestly, that's a big.
things that we played forfeited. And
Yeah, that's a Babe Ruth problem
Yeah.
and a
so
district commissioner Babe Ruth problem.
it's another conversation,
Yeah.
I guess, but
I think they're not doing enough to try to build their program. But the problem is if you want to do an all-star season in softball, they're the only ones you can do it with. Baseball, Little League has a softball program, but they are so strict on boundaries and this, and Steve knows this. Steve looked a lot into it. And honestly, they dummy down their rules pretty bad. And I think it hinders in their development as players also.
well, they're talking about being done with all-star season, but we've got all the way through June. We don't start our all-star state tournaments until the end of June.
Yeah.
So in Lake City, anything we can do to avoid that for next season would be great.
That'll never happen. I mean, what if you go to the World Series? That's the third week in July.
Yeah.
Was it 14? You was another age group.
14U and 8U. Jason C., I've known him a long time through the baseball world, but now has a daughter in softball, kind of like what happened to me.
Sure.
Very knowledgeable guy. He coached high school, all that stuff too. Same situation. Really, he wants to try to field a team, wants to start having practices and open workouts, stuff like that. But kind of want to put a hold on the whole process of, getting accepted and all that, so at least we know we have a team. But he's been with the league also. His daughter's in 8U, was in T-ball last year. So they're both committed to being part of the program, being part of the rec program, being Rebellion or whatever name you want to change it to. I love Rebellion. It doesn't matter, honestly. As long as we have committed teams and coaches and parents, it's no big deal. A name's a name.
So open workouts for now until
Yes.
we field a team. Okay.
Yeah. Now, Farron's closed. I don't know how much field space we're going to be able to get.
2 weeks, you have lots.
That's the conversation I have with, I'll have to have with Steve. But,
They're sharing it with all three age
yeah,
groups. So it's a little tough right now.
yeah.
You'll have more availability after Willows for sure.
Well, it wouldn't start until after All-Stars anyway, so by then the fields will be open.
Be fine.
At Willows.
Any other questions around that? I know there's a lot of dialogue.
On that note,
No? Okay. Any other new business?
I wanted to chat about 3-4. I've been the guru of 3-4 for 8 seasons in a row now. I've been there. So I'm finally retiring from that age group, which is amazing. But I have seen it go, I've seen it go from one end of the spectrum to another. Maybe 3 seasons ago or 2 seasons ago, we adopted some rules that came from acreage that have seen it go in a downward trajectory, in my opinion. It's only 3-4, so it's not that serious, but people have left the acreage, from what I've gathered, to come play at our facility for 3-4 because it's more of a structured, organization. We have a schedule. It's not just one day a week. We have practices, and once games start up, we have a whole season where everybody shows up typically. We went from keeping score years ago, 3 outs, run rules, to everybody gets to bat, outs don't count, people just run around. This past season, we only got, I think every single game we played 2 innings because the kids would sit in the field for 15 minutes apiece because every team got to bat all their kids. At that age, they need to change positions and rotate and do things quickly or else they lose interest. That happens even at 6 years old. So I think there's a couple different things we need to focus on, in my opinion, that we can either shift it back to the way it was or push it in a way that we all agree is good for the park. I think we can either take 6 and under and change it to a AA, AAA type of division where you have everyone evaluate and the lower half goes and plays with the squishy ball, and then they play T-ball that way. The upper half plays with a hard ball, and it's more like 6U, but you could be a 4-year-old that's very good, and you'll be put into AAA if you evaluate high enough. That's a little tricky, or it could get a little tricky with some of the parents, in my opinion. If they want to play with their classmates in the lower one, or vice versa, play them up. But I'm seeing a lot of kids starting to move up a little too early. I saw, especially this season in 6U, that had no business there, and I think Josh can attest to that. He coached the team. Had we done a AA, AAA, they would have gone down, and some of the kids from the younger league probably would have come up. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it, which might be an easier solution, is count runs again in 3-4. Wins and losses don't really matter, it's 3-4. But count the runs. Do 5-run max per inning, like we do in 6U, or 3 outs, whichever comes first. That will at least get the kids off the field, on the field 3-4 times a game rather than just once. It won't keep them in the field as long. We might get 3 or 4 innings done. Not every kid's going to bat every inning, but they'll be second batter or third batter the following inning, because the most you can bat in that scenario is 8 kids per inning. If you get 5 runs and bases loaded, I think 8, maybe 9 kids get up to bat. So I think we need to do one or the other, in my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about it. It's 3-4, but it's important that we set a really good example at the first age they come here, so we don't lose them to soccer, football, basketball after the first season if they don't have a good experience.
Or O'Keely.
Or other parks that are a little more competitive.
That one.
Baseball. We never
Yeah, I
played
think
even though-
what you described is the way actually our rules are written, so we just need to set that tone right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Okay,
It is AA, AAA,
right,
and so that's something we can talk about as a board. Do we want
right. We need to discuss
100
that.
some odd kids to evaluate?
That's a
'Cause
lot.
that's a lot.
I think the easiest solution is the 3-4.
Or you do it
The
in
3-4,
two days.
count the runs, 5 max per inning, or 3 outs, whatever comes first. Because what we've lost in the past 3 seasons that have been there, no kid moving into 6U has ever been out in their entire life. They don't know what getting out is, which is wild. They played 3 or 4 seasons of baseball, don't even know they can be out.
When we,
Right, but the most basic things about baseball and softball are hitting the ball, strikes, outs, runs. We don't teach runs, we don't teach strikes, we don't teach outs. Those are the most basic rules you can teach. And I'm not saying every kid deserves to be out, but even if you just hit the ball, make contact, we give them 5-6 strikes, the odds that they get out at first base are slim to none. They're slim to none. So you're still going to get 8 batters an inning, but we still have to teach them the basics, and you're getting away from that completely. I've seen kids leave. I've seen kids jump up way too early because of it. It sounds silly because it's 3-4, but I'm seeing it happen. I'm seeing kids, and I only want what's best for the park. So.
you should evaluate them all together. Is that when we don't do that anymore?
Not the younger kids.
Not the 3-4.
Not if they're 4 and under. Well, what we could do, we could set a limit, because obviously you're not going to put a 3-year-old on a 6-year,
Yeah.
but you could say 4 and up, right? Ages is 4.
Because everything you said, Nico, that's the way it used to be. It was the best of the best was in, there was like 4 teams usually in AAA, and it was the best of the best kids from top to bottom. Pretty much they all knew how to play baseball. There was always 4 teams, and then everybody else was in AA. That's how the talent worked. And then All-Stars came. We always had an A and B in 6U, and that A team was usually. I remember they went to the World Series one year. That's how good they were when my son was in T-ball. But that's how they did it. It was the best of the 4 teams, and they played on field 8. They played on the bigger field, and then AA played on the smaller fields, the 2 smaller fields. And every Saturday, that area right there was packed. That concession stand was packed. It was hopping, and you had multiple games throughout the whole day in that area.
Yeah, in my opinion, we just got to enforce the rules right out of the gate, and then make sure that they follow them, and then kind of following with that if they have a kid that, and they might not know that, right? If they have a kid that starts that is going to be a safety hazard around 3-year-olds, then we need to pull them up to 6U, right? Yeah.
I mean, and the plan is also hopefully before the season starts, we get all the coaches together and go over some of this stuff and I want to do that before every season, because how many times we have arguments and stuff because no one knows the rules or what's going on. It's just.
What do the rules state now? Unlimited 3 outs, or the rules
It's the same for 6U that it is for, yeah. Yeah, the only difference, it spells out AA, AAA in the rules. That's on my list after Willow's Bash. I'll adjust all of those for baseball specifically.
could hold-
And I'll send it out to you guys.
Could hold a coach's workshop before the season and then have, break out the rule book and be like, hey,
So I would like to do that before the season, and then, obviously, there's not playoffs in 3-4, but before playoffs, and that way, just keep everybody on the same page. It'd be quick and easy, hopefully.
Do I get 2 bases on an overthrow?
Depends what season. Not in fall.
In that age group.
This past season, I had 13. I had the largest team.
He wanted 13.
I had 13, but I was able to get 7 coaches on my team.
Right,
Some of the other teams had 3 coaches. They had about 10 kids.
right.
Yeah, I think if we had enough coaches, you could probably water that down like they do for some of the softball we do and just have 6 or 7
Because, like, we
kids.
try to keep it minimal because most of the outfielders aren't getting balls anyway, so,
You could even break that 3-4 down to 8 players.
Oh, yeah. No, listen, some of the softball teams we played for T-ball, they were 6 or 7. Pretty much an infield. There was no outfield.
and then they get more at-bats. And they're not stuck in the outfield
Just got to get
picking
enough
daisies
coaches.
and
That's the
making,
opportunity in that age group in particular.
angels.
We're letting a lot of 2-year-olds come in with a parent, which is a good thing because we need the parents. Even if you're a parent on the field, you can handle your kid.
There you go.
And you can help with the other kids. So that's kind of a good thing. But at the same time, it's a little bit tricky, right? Because now we have more 2-year-olds in that division. So, and I don't,
We had one so far for this fall reach out.
okay. Well, that comes with a parent or a coach, so.
Okay, so 2 then. I just didn't get an email or anything.
The birthday thing, the birthday system thing, yeah. So you could have a few.
Well, you know, there's other people that actually
I think that these kids are 2, 3, 4 years old, and we're doing 2, 3, 4 years.
I don't disagree with you that the mechanics matter the most. Runs don't really matter, but what I have seen is that people have left other leagues to come to ours because we had a structure. And all I'm saying is that structure has now gone away, and we're getting very close to those other leagues that people left. And I don't want them leaving our league. That's all.
runs do matter to the parents. They get more rowdy than anybody else down in T-ball,
Especially in that age group.
no doubt.
Well, and also, it does somewhat prepare them for the next league, so they understand why they're coming on and off the field, and that's, yeah.
Develop, but you gotta remember, you're still dealing with
3 and 4-year-olds, yeah.
I'm not saying we need to run a boot camp. I'm just saying.
I don't disagree with you, but I mean, I understand trying to structure a little bit, but I think we've got to remember what we're dealing with.
No, for
Some of these kids are still in diapers, if not coming out of diapers, 2 years old. Some of their parents belong in diapers.
He was farming those kids for a while.
He was. That's it. The dynasty's over.
Yeah.
Tell him, Josh, the dynasty's over.
Yeah, no more dynasty in there now.
No, I think, part of the rules that were set up long before us, maybe Ed was part of some of those rules, especially in 6U, the overthrow rule, the run limits, they're intended for you to make baseball plays, right? The third baseman holding the ball so the kid doesn't run past him is not teaching him baseball. Throw the ball to first
Rolling the
base,
ball to
right?
first base.
Or roll the ball to first base, or running out of the circle and tagging him. Correct.
Make sure coaches are being aggressive, teaching kids to be aggressive, that kind of stuff. But
And I almost hate watching districts because that's how they play. That's how they have to play. But we want to teach them proper mechanics in the rec league, and the rules are set up not to penalize you, right? So if the guy throws the ball over the first baseman's head, he only goes to second base. So if the first baseman throws it to second base and throws it over his head again, at least you're teaching them the right thing to do, right? So teach them the right things to do, I think, is to the point, right? Likewise with the pitching and the leading off and all the other stuff, right? We're trying to groom them to understand, not to take advantage of the rule and hold the ball at second base and throw my hands up, right? So we're not teaching them anything. And they do it. I mean, I saw some of y'all's games over the summer, and they're throwing their hands up because that's what the coach taught them to do at second base, trying to call timeout, right? Which, listen, I get it in that environment, but in a normal environment, that doesn't work. Go do that on the big field, they're gonna laugh at you, right? I mean, the kids just keep running. That's just not the way it works, so. No, I think point taken. I think we just got to reinforce it right out of the gate, either it's through a coaches meeting or our new division director, Nico.
I'd be happy to.
But just reinforcing, right, we want to teach them the right things and just following the rules. But listen, I like it. Evaluate all of them, 4 and up, right? 4 and up, right? I wouldn't do 2 and 3-year-olds. Don't let Alicia lie on her birth date.
It becomes a safety issue too.
Yeah, of course.
Now, what happens? That division still stays with 3, 4 only, the age group, or 6-year-olds can get bumped down.
I would be careful with that. I mean, if you have like a 5-year-old, like the one kid that you had that has the little brother, never played before, then maybe that's a scenario. I don't know that I'd put a 6-year-old. But, you know, if you have a 5-year-old that's never played before or a tiny 6-year-old that's never played before, I think, you know, to your point, we got to be careful with safety stuff. They'll pick it up. I mean, they're young, they're resilient, they figure it out, so. All right, any other new business you want to discuss? All right.
I'd like to thank John for picking up the L screens and bringing them over to Farron. Him and his wife did it. And they did it without taking any of the red screens. He tried to, but baseball gets the best again.
Oh, geez. I have a brand new L screen if you want it. He didn't want to come get it, though.
No, we do have a new one that we are going to get in the equipment room. There's one in our equipment room and then their equipment. So we'll have 5 over there.
Baseball takes priority, softball's not allowed to have the softball L screen.
S screens, they're S screens for softball. That's what it stands for. But you have enough over there now, right?
We need a couple
Gary
more,
got some
but,
I think there's another one floating around.
because all of our screens over there are just,
I think-
rotted out, they're falling over, laying down. They've actually gone tied up with what's left of the cage nets, which is nice, so,
Hey, what do you think about locking them up while they're on hiatus over there?
absolutely. Everything's good.
I bought
Can
a
we
bunch.
put them in a concession stand?
Well,
Maybe get some of the
Bike
locks.
chains at least.
just lock them together.
They have over here,
Yeah.
code, it's never correct, you can do those over there.
He's locks, we just got to get the chains. You have locks, right?
Well, no, I just go buy. I'll Zell it to you. Just buy some bike locks and then lock them all together.
We'll go to Willows and take
I
those.
do owe you that too.
John,
But yeah,
just take the ones from Willows.
need to lock them up if we can't get
Just
them.
take the ones from us. take the ones you took away. Yeah, I would just.
numbers are
I
wrong,
lock them
but
to the
don't worry
fence. I mean, they don't always stay locked to the fence. They move all over the place. But if
Can
you
we still get in there? How long, can we still get in the field? Tonight? So Steve says you can get on the field tonight and grab in the concession stand? So,
well, you got a huge concession stand though, so that shouldn't be an issue.
There's no way to get on those fields at all.
All right.
I'm following you. I need to grab my gear. That's.
I did skip a motion to approve reports. Can I get a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right. All right, so no new business. We'll go to open mic. I know we have one of our committee folks here, if you would like to give us an update. And then of course, anyone else. Well, 2. Steve's my other one, right?
So we met last week for events committee, and we talked about having a date for Willows, or for opening ceremony. Also, a couple of the parents would like to do the week before an opening bash versus the day games start. So we can make it more family, all softball, all baseball, everybody's together versus rushing around and having baseball games after and softball goes away and has nothing. So we want to try to do something for the whole league a week before on Saturday, if we can do that. And then we want to do, Gary already knows this, a cleanup day. So if we can get that approved and figure out a date before season even starts and do a cleanup day for the fields. We are going to do a quarter auction over at World of Beer for the month of July, which will be all profit. And we're gonna need some volunteers, so we will put it out for baseball and softball. That can help with softball and baseball, like whatever we make, it can go split half and half. And then I was going to see if we can do a family like skate night at Astro Skate, and they normally do a kickback of whatever, and that can go to softball, baseball. And then talk about trunk or treat, if we can figure out a date and get that approved so we can start having that set up for October, because I know we need a couple months in advance.
Is there an updated form you could send me? An events form?
I'll check tomorrow, and
Okay.
I will send it to you.
I'll share it with you. I think it's, what, 45 days? So, good rule is a couple months out. I had it approved, I want to say last year.
Yeah.
And then we had some other, we had something, we had, unbeknownst to us, we had the park rented on the same day. But, yeah, so if we have a date that we can pick, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, so we had gotten it approved last year, so I don't foresee why they wouldn't approve it.
And
just
then, are you guys okay if I reach out to Astro Skate and do like a ball night? Everybody wears Royal Palm, their favorite uniform, and that will be, most of the time, I know with my school, they do a 20% kickback. So whatever a family brings in, whatever those entries are, it's 20% that we get back. And then hopefully we can keep trying to do more Bud's Chicken, Chick-fil-A, do like those family nights and have more money that comes in for softball and baseball and just split it evenly, 50-50. So one isn't getting more than the other.
He said 30, just being clear.
I'm for 50-50. 50-50, I got both on both sides.
Perfect. No, listen, I like all the activities, so I know we talked about this, Ron. I don't know if there's a special permit that's needed. Like if we got a blow up and did like movies at the park, is that a special permit we need to run the movies? It's beyond, I think it's beyond the regular permit. We have to have a permit to show the movie over a certain amount of
Okay.
attendance. Because I've run into this in other things that we've done. But we can look at it. That might be another one that we could do and open the
Add that
concession
too, I
stand and,
wasn't gonna overboard,
sure.
so.
Yeah, skate in the fall. We don't want to skate in the spring and break ankles before All-Stars, right?
So I was thinking the month of July, figure out if they have something so it's a summer, and then that will give us money for August to try to bring in whatever we need for opening ceremony bash and have that money go there. The silent auction or quarter auction night is already, I think, already going, but we haven't been able to post any of that because they want to finish their June event. And then once that's done, then we can start sharing their July event. But we have it set for July.
So what is the quarter auction? I'm not familiar.
I've never been to one, but people bring in quarters and they are auctioning off stuff and they have paddles. So we need somebody to run pay for their paddles. It's like $2 a paddle or something, and then quarters. And we did one, I guess the Predators had one last month, and for 6U, I believe.
No, it was Brandon.
Yes, it was Brandon's 6U.
Brandon's ex-wife does it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Yeah, I've never heard of it. That's why I was interested. Yeah.
It's at World of Beer in Royal Palm, I believe. So she was setting it up for us and asked if we were okay with that.
No, absolutely. absolutely.
Okay. I will set up all those. We'll get dates then figured out.
Let me know what you need help with. I can help with you.
Now, I know you had a bunch, you guys were working on Willow's Bash, right? You had a bunch of vendors set up.
Yes, and I had gotten a barbecue that does ribs, pulled pork, and then a couple of the parents are upset that we're having food trucks come in because that's taking away from our concession stand. But if we're having vendors come in that do not sell the things we sell in our concession stand and are giving us a 20% kickback, I don't necessarily understand what an issue is, because we're still making money off of that. And their stuff is gonna cost more than what we're gonna charge a hot dog for, a half a rack of ribs.
No, listen, lessons learned from last year, and this is for everybody, is it was so busy in the concession stand, they could barely keep up. And so not that I don't want that extra revenue, but I think if the line's 30 people deep, they're having a bad experience, right? If I can walk over to the Kona Ice truck and get a Kona Ice, or a chicken truck and get an entree, I don't see why it hurts. I mean, it was terribly busy. I think Saturday they took like 3 or 4 breaks because I thought the poor people were going to pass out in the concession stand. It was the busiest day I've ever seen in the concession. We ran out of everything. I went to Target like 4 times. So last Saturday, or the last Willow's Bash, when we played the tournament on the weekend, it was crazy busy. So I think the more we can help take some of the heat off, the better.
Also, if they're not selling hot dogs, hamburgers, chips, like the stuff that we're gonna have, I don't see there being,
Sure.
we're not competing against ourselves. And we're still gonna make some money. Also, those vendors, those food truck people are gonna post on their Facebook like, hey, I'm here in Royal Palm, where, guess what? You might not be a baseball person, but you're like, ooh, I really like that person's food. They might just show up to buy something, not even watch baseball, but guess what? We're getting 20% of what they showed up just to pick up somebody's ribs. Instead of driving to North Lake, they're like, oh, this is down the street, I'm gonna go here today.
No, absolutely. And I mean, I'll say one of the neighboring villages, they do like a food truck thing every Thursday or Friday, and they have entertainment on an amphitheater and/or movies. So, I mean, we have a perfect venue to do that on a Thursday or Friday. So there might, there might be an opportunity to work with Ron and the team and say, hey, can we do this together? And, we can utilize all the space that we have. And
We also have somebody doing like hair that like the softball has.
Oh, boy.
So we'll have that there, and then we have someone who's doing hats. So the patches for the hats, I know that has been done, and they're both doing kickbacks also. And then we have the one lady who's always there doing her jewelry, like the,
Tchotchkes, yeah.
yes, she's there, and she's doing 20% kickback.
can we put her on field aid and keep her away from my kids?
Make sure whoever we bring in doesn't have
We're going to keep her by you.
Yes, no one is competing against each other. So that's what we're trying to make sure, that there's nobody
I feel like I
competing
spend
against
$100 every
anybody.
time she shows up at the field. And I don't even know where it went.
So,
Awesome. Well, we appreciate all your help. Thank you.
Because we have lack of 62s. Move a couple of the 8U games over to field 8.
Yeah, I have
So we can
one
use
right
that
now.
concession stand.
Yeah. Any other folks for open mic? Nope. Awesome.
The new committees that were formed, do you have a list of that or anything?
We do. So Alicia heads up the event committee. Steve is on our softball committee. And
put Kayla also with events as vice chair for softball. So we have vice chair softball and a vice chair for baseball. So softball's still gonna somewhat get somebody who's always there.
Sure.
And we have someone for baseball. So we've got both sides to be able to be covered. Softball's not being forgotten.
now just food for thought. I've thrown this out a couple times. Steve and Ed and Mike might throw stuff at me, but I know Saturdays in particular are challenging for parents, and so I've put this out there. I'm happy to, Steve and I can work on this together, but there's no reason we couldn't play all the games at Willows, and the parents don't have to leave. Now, during the week's a little different, right? But on the weekends, I don't see why we couldn't, right? We could maneuver it in, and generally, there's not a ton of games anyways. So just food for thought there. I know that was a complaint I hear a lot because people are bouncing back and forth. I'm one of them. You're one of them. There's a lot of us here that do that. John's one of them.
I was more concerned about committees, like, I've got a lot of parents that want to be involved
Yeah.
somehow, and they don't really know how, so, how are we putting out committees and
Yeah.
advertising it and letting people know?
So, yeah, I guess we could, I'll reach out to the four that are heading it up, John, and I guess whatever they prefer. I don't necessarily want to put their phone number on Facebook, but if there's an email they want to post, hey, if you're interested, email
Email.
Alicia, email Steve, right?
Yeah, because we got people that want to help out, either, with their time and financially or anything like that, so.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I think we just need to figure out the best way to do that communication with these guys. Yeah, sponsorships.
The committees can be used, I think it's a great idea, I think it was one of the only good, or one of the really good things that came from our last meeting, which was packed, which.
Yeah.
Actually, this is more people than we had in the meeting before.
This is packed, John.
So it's good.
It is.
But I know there's a lot of people that want to be involved in it, so I think the more that we can advertise and get out there, it takes a lot of weight off everybody, mostly you, but it takes a lot of weight off people that want to be involved and help, and they have good ideas, and
Yeah.
not all of them, but some of them get it.
Well, you know what we could do, and this is just food for thought. So we have a coach enrollment. We could have a volunteer one, right? What you're interested in, I can just change. I'll go through the questionnaire and update it, and then maybe if I can pull it off, we'll do a drop down. Like, which one would you be interested in? Events, operations, whatever. And then they can sign up if they're interested. Hey, register online with your information, and then now we have them too.
She made a Google form.
I did, and I had people who showed up last Tuesday, they got to tell us what they would like to
Sure.
help with. So I can share that on the Facebook page and get everybody who wants, but I think it also needs to go as an email. So I've had people complain that they are not on social media and they do not see what we post on social media, that they would like to be a little bit more updated on emails.
Sure.
I don't check my email, so I'd rather social media.
Lights on at the field, just. Oh, no, no lights at the field. Any-
They're texting me right now, trying to practice.
You have one
Let me
job
know
to
what
do,
you want
one
me to
job to
post
do.
in the email. I can do that. I just try not to bombard everybody with like a whole bunch of emails because I already get like 1,500 a day. So I do check my email to an extent, but like I wouldn't want to get an email about like, hey, our 8U won like this, so. Anything like pertinent, like I'll email about.
It's like, it's a league-wide though, like it's league-wide volunteers for.
Yes.
All of it, so, yeah, no, I don't want to email blast about 8U winning a game, but, an email about, hey, the league needs help, you guys want to volunteer for these committees that we formed, I think that's, more than reasonable.
Definitely.
The Facebook page, you can like but
Would
unfollow
you
all
want
the posts.
that thing you made to be shared across, or?
Do that, I can change the email also to add it to like as a baseball email so you guys can see it. 'Cause
Yeah.
that goes straight to my email.
Okay. However you want to do it is fine. I'll share it though.
Yeah, we can email any of it. I think it's through Sports Engine, but they're using, I believe it's Constant Contact off the top of my head.
Like, I try not to hit I try to do it in like prior like seasons and send that way. Because when I hit like for everybody that's ever signed up, I get like 10 emails back like, stop emailing me, lady, and.
Oh, yeah, no, I get a few of those. And they got to opt out, unfortunately, so we can't take them out. So if that ever comes up.
Or
I
we
can't
send the
delete
email to
anything, because
somebody
once
we
you
don't wanna
bought
get the
something,
email.
you're there forever, right? No, but, no, listen, good start to the summer, good start to, our fall numbers. So I'm excited for that. We have a lot more people involved than have been in a very long time. So I think that's a positive, not just here, but also, folks that have, message me about stuff. And I'll just say this in full transparency with anyone on the board. If you want to know something, just ask, right? Don't question, right? Ask. I got nothing to hide from you. I'll tell you anything that you want. There are certain things I'll be particular with just because I'm a little sensitive to our vendors, right? Because our vendors have been good to us. Not that I want to stay with them forever, right? But we want them to do what we need them to do. But they've helped us out big time compared to when I took over. And we were in kind of financial strays. So I'm a little sensitive to those. But outside of that, if there's something you want to know, listen, nothing's top secret, right? We have all of our financials are posted. You can look at our 990s for the past, I don't know, however many years we've been around, 20 years, which are all the financials through the state of Florida. So any questions you guys have on any of the stuff that we do or how we do it, happy to answer. Some of the stuff, is just the way it's been done. Doesn't mean it has to stay that way, right? We're not married to that. I'm not married to anything that we do, honestly. So if there's a better way to do it or an easier way to do it, I'm all for it, right? So now part of it is we hear a lot of, hey, you guys should do this. Well, that's great, but you guys don't have any more time. So if we have people that are willing to pitch in, right, that makes a huge difference. Hey, we want to do this. How do we help you do that and not have to drive the whole thing? It's sky's the limit. We can do anything we want, right?
Piggyback that real quick. People do need to understand that the reason why there's a board is so one person can't make decisions. So if there are things that need to be changed, it's discussed, everybody talks about it, and then it's a vote before anything gets changed. That's how it works. A lot of people think they can just come up with an idea and things just change. That's not how it works. There's a board for a reason, and there's a process that people do need to understand. And like Gary said, I've seen a lot of changes over the years for the better. So if there is something that's better, do it. But there is a process, and a lot of people don't understand that.
Awesome. Well, hey, I appreciate everyone's time. We'll see where the next one lies. I know it gets dangerously close to 4th of July, so we might have to hit up Ron either to postpone it or maybe do it right before we start back. So we have a kickoff before August, and then think about when we want to start. But I'll share the calendar with everybody once I get a chance to take a stab at it.
Well, we have everybody here. Let's just do that because that falls on
It's a
July
Tuesday.
1st.
That's the week of the 4th of July, yeah.
I'm going to be gone that whole week, so I won't be here for that week. So should we just reschedule it now while we have everybody here?
Well, he'll have to check for the room, but we can
So
send
we
him.
won't be able to come together for the July 1st meeting.
But we can see, maybe we just postpone it until the August one, because the August one is right before we start
I
anyways,
think that might be best.
which is what, the 5th?
That's
6th?
the 5th, yeah.
Okay.
Is that
So
okay?
we can have,
That 2 weeks before we start season?
yeah,
That's
I mean, we
about
can have
2 weeks
workshops
before
in
we
between.
start. Yeah.
So we could have workshops in between. We don't necessarily have to have a board meeting, quote unquote, but we can work with the events committee on, the opening day stuff. And that's going to be the most important, opening day and when to start.
It's gotten a little
evals.
close. I mean, if there was any way to postpone, our meeting, do it a week late or 2 weeks late, at least that way we can have a meeting, talk about vendors and things like that.
Is it the 8th and the 15th?
So, I mean, I don't necessarily have to be here because
She just takes notes.
I'm gone on vacation the first week of July and the last 2 weeks of July.
Yeah, I'm gone the last 2 weeks.
Can you just get back to us when you have a
Yeah, I can send them, I'll send them a couple dates.
Second Tuesday of July, is that good?
Second or third Tuesday.
Yeah, I could do like the 8th or the 15th.
15? Yeah.
The 8th or the 15th works for me. It doesn't necessarily have to be on a Tuesday either.
So possibly the 8th?
8?
I'm not doing that, Nico.
We could probably pull that off. Can we tentatively put that one in for the 8th with you guys, assuming we have the room? All right, so tentatively, we have our next meeting for July 8th. More to confirm on that. And it's after the holiday, so maybe that'll be a little better for everybody and after our All-Stars for softball, and I think there's a
There's
baseball
one- there's a
tournament.
tournament that we can-
So I appreciate everyone. I'll make a motion to close the meeting. I don't know that I need to because we don't have business, but,
A second. Oh.
all right, thank you. Have a good night.